Shrutismritipurananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavijyam Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavagaihi Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The fact that I need to light up, I need to reveal an object to say it exists, is very easy to recognize. One is myself, who is, I exist, I am. This existence of myself, existence of the self, is evident to the self, is not evident to any other self. Any other self means it becomes not self. So the self reveals itself. That's why it is in the form of a revealing consciousness. In every revelation, there is the presence of consciousness, because it's the object consciousness which we say as the revealed object. So the object consciousness is knowledge. Therefore, this flower consciousness, when you say flower is, flower consciousness is. The variable is flower. So here, the entire not self means what is revealed by the self, including my thoughts, my memory, my ignorance, my knowledge, my emotions, my senses, my body, the whole jagat. All this, anything that I visualize, I infer, I see, I hear, so all of them are not self, anatma. So the self reveals the anatma. Anatma doesn't reveal the self. So all anatma has to be revealed. When I say revealed, the anatma has to become an object of consciousness. So for revealing its existence. Therefore, so the self is self-revealing, and the not self is revealed by the self. This is what we say, one is bhati, the other is anubhati. This fact is can be recognized. This fact can be recognized without any difficulty, with ease. I am self-revealed person, self-revealing. The self is self-revealing, and everything else is revealed by the self, is evident to the self. The second step is the most difficult step. It's not difficult or easy, it's a step to be really made. And the step is the self that is, the self that reveals itself, and which is self-existent. This is a thing we have to understand. What is self-existent? What is self-evident is also self-existent. It means it doesn't require to be revealed by anything. It doesn't depend upon anything else also. Because it reveals itself, it is in the form of consciousness. And the consciousness is what we say self-existent. Doesn't require another consciousness to reveal. And another thing, so this self, the self-existent consciousness, because consciousness is, and it doesn't require any other consciousness to reveal consciousness, if this is clear, then it is self-evident and self-existent. In other words, what is self-evident alone can be self-existent. This is clear. What is self-evident alone can be self-existent, and everything else for its revelation depends entirely upon the self. But for its being depends upon the self we don't know. Understand? We know very well now from what we have discussed, everything, time, space, everything, so needs to be revealed by the self. But then the step here is that we have to cover that not only for revelation the anatma, the not self, depends upon the consciousness to reveal, plus for its being, it draws existence from the same self-existent consciousness that is Atma. So why? Because this anything you see is not separate from the consciousness. There is no separation between the subject of an object. There is no separation between the subject and the consciousness, because the subject is consciousness. The being of the subject is the being of consciousness. The being of a thought is nothing but the being of consciousness. The revelation of the thought is nothing but the presence of consciousness, the thought consciousness. The object of the thought also is not separate from the thought, that can be understood, but the object outside, what about? If you take the outside concept, outside from what? Outside my eyes, that is okay. Outside your ears, that is okay. Outside your body, that is also okay. And outside your mind, that is also okay until it gets loaded. So this is true. It is outside your mind, outside your eyes, and therefore we can say there is subject, there is an instrument, a means of seeing, and there is the object sighted. So the subject, jnata, jnanam, jneyam, the knower, knowledge, and the object known, and the means connecting it, pramana. So all these are we can say all these differences are there. But is it from the satta? Is it from the consciousness which exists? That is the thing to be covered. And that is, the jnata, the knower, is not separate from consciousness. The jnata is a conscious being. Knowledge is not separate from consciousness. And the object of knowledge is not separate from consciousness. The existence, the being of everything is entirely dependent upon this consciousness that is self-existent. And therefore, nothing in this anatma which is independent of atma. So in drig drishya, when you say subject-object, the self, not self, the problem is there is self something entirely different, and from the anatma. And anatma is different from the self. So this anyarte nanj that is there, this anya means when you say it is other than the self, means it is two different things. Like these two different flowers. Therefore this is different, this is different. So therefore one can exist without the other. This is where this nanj we are using, the negative particle we use in order to point out the other. So this other is, you can say this other can exist without this, and this can exist without the other. This is called other. Understand? This is other. Very easy. But the flower cannot exist without petal. It is not other. Even though you call it petal, you remove the petal, still the flower is no. The petal, you remove the petals, flower is gone. Therefore, petals are flowers. No, there is also not a flower. Petals are petals. And therefore, so you see flower means it has a form, but not independent of petals. Like this, any one thing you take, it's not independent of something else. Finally, if you come to the micro objects like electrons, micro objects when you come, then the micro object which is not available for perception, which is an object of inference. In other words, it is an object that is purely conceived. It is an object of a concept. Concept, when you say, it is an object of your pure inferential knowledge. So the object of that inferential knowledge, that object is not totally away from consciousness. That is why, because it has got, both of them have got the common plank called consciousness, when you decide to measure the velocity of the electron, it behaves like a wave. It seems to really understand what you want. If it is outside consciousness, you cannot influence that. Then you decide to see the position, it says, okay, electron behaves as a particle, not like a wave. So this double phenomena, I mean the dual what you call phenomena that you see in a micro object, that phenomena are due to what? Due to this observer's influence, observer's decision. This is where we say that object is never away from the common plank that is consciousness. They use the dream example. In the dream you have the subject. You are the subject of the dream world. The dream world is not outside. Outside dream space, outside dream time, and the dream time, dream space, dream object is a projection of the dreamer. And therefore dreamer pervades, it's called all-pervasive. The dreamer is all-pervasive of the dream world. The dreamer is not sitting in one corner of the dream world. Understand? This is called all-pervasiveness. So all-pervasive means don't look like this. So look around. One Swami used to ask me, Swamiji, I understand everything in Vedanta, but this all-pervasiveness I don't get it. And therefore all the time he goes around. Then he feels backside is missing. And so, all-pervasiveness. Hey, this is a dream. In dream, you are all-pervasive because it is all you. The whole dream world is you. And therefore, so you pervade space. The consciousness pervades space. Consciousness pervades the observer of space. So both the subject and object are pervaded by consciousness. It is the same thing here also. There is no difference whatsoever in terms of this reality. I have to say that because there seems to be something else here, some extra is that we will see afterwards, and therefore that which is self-existent is called Satyam. That which draws its existence is called asat. And therefore, the sat is the cause of everything. Asat is the non-separate effect of the sat. Therefore, in the Upanishad, there is a very beautiful expression, Sadeva Satyam. The Sadeva Satyam, this is just very interesting. The Satyam also has the same meaning. But then, the introduction of the topic was Sadeva Samya Idamagra Asid Yekameva Advitiyam. Paile Tha. Yeki Tha. That Ek is what? Paile, in the beginning there was only one. And that was non-dually one. It is not 1 plus 1. It is non-dually one. 1 plus 1 means that which is subject to addition, subtraction. Not that kind of one. That's a miserable one, I tell you. That's member of a set. It has no meaning. Really speaking, this one has no meaning. There is no definite meaning for one. One universe, there are many galaxies. One galaxy, there are many systems. One system, there are many planets. One planet, there are many continents. One continent, there are many countries. One country, there are many states. One state, there are many districts. One district, there are many counties. One county, there are many villages and small towns. And then one village, there are many houses. One house, there are many walls. One wall, many bricks. One brick, many atoms. Many means you have to just give up counting, okay? That's called many. It's not one to many, understand? And therefore, it's just, this is how it is, this is what is one, talking about what is one. Vyavastha nahi hai. Iska vyavastha nahi hai. Then what is non-dual? When you say not two, oh, it is three, because in Sanskrit not two means three. Really? Is not two means it may be three. Then we have to say one it is. Oh, that is subject to become 2, 3. No. It is non-dually one. That is why it is not monism. They have to add ism. Then only they are comfortable. So this is our fellows. So they have to add ism to everything so that they can also be passed. And therefore, so these guys, they have to add ism to everything. There is no ism here. All that is here, non-dual means it is not ism. Ism means what? So that can be contended with another ism. Okay? You can contend with that. So this ism, oh, you follow that ism, I follow this ism. So then both are okay. My ism has got a better window dressing. Come here. It has got more truth or only truth. This is ism. The ism people are all people who are insecure and who have no security. They cannot have security because there are no roots. The whole theology is a float sand. It's a froth upon the billows of the ocean. It's just a froth and foam and bubbles. These are all they are float sands of thought in your head. They are called theologies. Understand? No roots, no bearing. Therefore, ism is not ism here. 1 plus 1, 2 is not ism. And therefore, this ism adding is a very dangerous non-dualism. Monism. Monism is only when when there is a marriage separation and you don't have children also went along with your wife. Then you are a monist, okay? You are mono and your lot is monism, understand? You are monistic. That is all monism. There is no monism. There is neither dualism. There is non-dualism doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. To contend with anything else, non-dual means second thing is not there. What is the second thing? Now listen to this. Other than the self, this Sat, Satyam, other than Sat, nothing exists. Other than Sat, nothing exists. Like Sat, another Sat doesn't exist. In the Sat also, there are not many parts. Then there is no Sat after all. Many parts means it will fall apart. That is why if your body falls apart, it is because it's made of parts. It is meant to fall apart. Understand? Falling apart is not possible where there are no parts. Understand? That's an expression, clean expression. Falling apart. Falling apart means if you have got kneecaps, fall apart. Knee joint, fall apart. And jaws have got joints, fall apart. Katak. Even when you open your mouth, katak. So I hear sound sometimes. Even though I've been talking so much, still it makes noise. The jaws make noise. Because it tells me there's a joint there. Do you know that? And so there's a joint. Wherever there are joints, katak, they fall apart. Put together, fall apart. Everything put together, fall apart. And therefore, if Sat is also put together, which is Sat? Remove all the parts, what is there? Nothing. That is why the Buddhist said Shunya. I said there is no Shunya, number one. There is no such thing as zero. Zero doesn't exist at all. Because there is a fellow who is aware of zero, and therefore there is no such thing as zero. And in fact, there are no parts. It's a partless whole. This is called non-dual. Swayam, so Swayam, it is not, it has got Bheda, Swagata Bheda Rahitam. Means in itself, it has no parts. It's not an object to have parts. It is self-revealing consciousness, Satyam. And there is nothing other than that Vastu, Sad Vastu. There is nothing like another Sad Vastu. If you say flower, like this there are other flowers. So Sajati, Vijati, that is flower, this is different. Vijati itself has got so many parts. And therefore, so you find this self is partless, and there is nothing other than that. That is what it was before. Sadeva Asit. Sadeva Asit. How? Which Asit? He says, Idam Sarvam Sadeva Asit. Ye sab Sadeva Asit. Ye sab. Yes, all this that we see here, including your body, mind, sense complex, this anatma, this not self, was Sat. Beginning. Then afterwards he says, from that Sat alone, all these elements and elementals came, being not separate from Sat. Like what? So like ornaments from the same gold, like parts from the same clay, all useful things, like instruments out of same iron. 3 examples are given. So they are all non-separate from the very thing. That's why the gold is mentioned there, because you understand better. Because even you will understand, even emotionally you will understand. Because so when you give so many sovereigns to this fellow, to make out of them a chain, golden chain, you want to make sure the same gold, not this 14 KT and all that, but it is the same gold, is the same kind of a, so that kind of combination, there is always a little copper there, and it is not more. The fellow has not messed up with this, and therefore same gold has to be here. Fortunately, It is the same. And therefore, they say, you can wear the gold in the form of chain. Otherwise, you will be wearing golden lumps, I tell you. So this, you wear, these nuggets you will wear. But here, gold you convert it into various things. But the conversion is only a value addition. It is not addition to gold, nor loss. Understand? Loss, I mean, somewhere it is there. If there is any small little loss while making, it is somewhere there, understand? Therefore, chain is gold. And the chains are many in number. But gold is one. You know this very well. You know this very well. When you buy gold, when you golden chain you buy, you pay for the gold plus what? Making charges. Making includes home making also, his home making. Understand? He has to make his home. There is also making charges, it is called. And therefore his making charges, profit, etc. all included, you pay a dear sum. Then when you want to sell the chain, when you are in distress, when you want to sell the chain, he puts it in the balance and then says, I will pay for the gold, not for the chain. Correct? He looks at it only as gold. He doesn't look at it as chain anymore. You know it very well. So this is an important thing that to know, that even after becoming chain, bangle and so on, it continues to be gold alone, and therefore, if that bangle happens to be your body, mind, sense complex, then the bangle is told, you are not bangle, you are gold. Tattvam asi. This is Tattvam asi. Why? Because Sadeva Satyam. The original Sat alone is Satyam. The word Satyam is a word revealing your understanding. First Sat is used by the Shastra for you to understand that originally what was there was Sat, and out of which everything has come. What has come is Vacharammanam Vikaro Namadeyam. It is Namadeyam Vacharammanam, just a name form alone. Just a name form. That's like even gold is called a chain, it is name form. There is no addition to gold. There is no change in gold. There is no attribute also belonging to gold. It is an incidental attribute added to gold, and gold remains still gold. Touch wood. And therefore, so this, all that is there, that if you understand this, that Sadeva Asit, originally Idam Sarvam, and Sadeva Asti even now. Therefore, Sadeva Satyam. Satyam, the second word, reveals the understanding of yourself. Sadeva Satyam. Satyam is opposed to Mithya. Vacharammanam Vikaro Namadeyam. That the Satyam and Mithya, they go together. And therefore, Tad Ananyat. So Adhisthana, Ananyat Yat, that is called Mithya. That Adhisthana is Satyam. Gold, the chain, golden chain is not independent of gold, and therefore chain is Mithya. But whereas gold is what? Satyam. And then what is that Satyams? That is the Vastu called Sat. So this is what we say, Sat, Satnam, Ek Onkar, Satnam. This Satnam is this Sat. Otherwise Sat cannot be Nama. The Sadeva Saumyadamagrasi, that Sat alone, Ek Onkar, Satnam, Karta Puruk. Karta means he is the maker and everything, and Puruk means Purusha. This conscious being, it is not a material, inert or something. That Sat alone is everything. We'll come to that. And therefore, this is the same. The word Satnam, they say Satnam. Satnam here is So that which is known as Sat in the Shastra is Satyam. So what is the Satyam? Sat is the Vastu, Sat is that consciousness Vastu, that is the Atma, and Satyam is, because that is the truth of everything. Understanding, revealing your understanding, that is Satyam. Sadeva Satyam. Why? Everything else being abhava, asataha, bhavaha na vidyate. There is asat has no independent being, drawing its being from the Sat, and therefore Satyam is this Vastu. Vastu is what? What is? That is consciousness, Sat, which is you. Then, Swamiji, I understand consciousness is everything, but how can you say consciousness is me? Oh, you are what? I cannot be consciousness. Oh, then you are inert or what? What do you want me to say? No, I am conscious, all right, but I cannot be consciousness. So I am a conscious, I'm a conscious person. Oh, conscious person? You're conscious of what? Conscious of the world, conscious of this. Suppose you don't have a world to be conscious of, suppose. Then what you are? Then I disappear. I become Shunya. So you become Shunya. If you become Shunya, zero, then the world comes what? From zero you come back again? From zero? No. From zero how can I come back? Zero means gone. So then I come back. I was there even if the world was not there. That is what I am telling. The ness of the conscious is consciousness, correct? The ness of the conscious, the truth of the conscious being is, that is why independent, Sadeva Satyam, that is Satyam. And everything else is Mithya. Understand now? And therefore, where are you now? Where are you? You have to say, where are you? Somebody asks the question, where are you? Allidare, illidare. So where are you? Your answer should be, where I am, not. Don't say I am everywhere. Because everybody has got his own everywhere. Your concept of everywhere is a few things, Hawa, etc. Everywhere. This everywhere is silly. Where I am, not. If this is understood, a little bit about this time also we have to talk. So this, with reference to space, it's everything. With reference to time also, it is always the same. It is always the same. While time is not separate from consciousness, consciousness is not time. It's not time bound. Recently, there was last year, I think, so I read a theory propounded by a British scientist. He said, the greatest myth is time. That is the whole thesis. The greatest myth of all the myths, time is the greatest myth. I don't know what is greatest myth, There is no greater myth. All are myths only. And therefore, certain myth is very, very intriguing myth. That's all. Some are more intriguing, some are less intriguing, some seem to be very rational myth, and the other is irrational myth. But anyway, this is the greatest joke, I will say. This time is the greatest joke. Look at this. There is, we say, Ishvara, the Lord. We have to come to the Lord later. Once that is done, then we have got whole Gita tied up. Don't think, I have not gone to third chapter, fourth chapter. So all chapters I am doing. I never said that I am going to cover the entire Gita verse by verse or chapter by chapter. I am trying to cover the entire Gita topic. Understand? Entire Gita topic I am covering. Then if you want to cover chapter by chapter, at least you come for 3 months minimum, okay? You come for 3 months, I will cover. But you will not miss anything. Everything will come. Don't worry. Hamaji is going. Still you are in second chapter. I am not in second chapter. This is not, there is no third chapter. There is only one chapter. This is to be understood. Don't get anxious about anything. I will cover all of it, okay? Whatever that you need to know, I will cover. Gita, whole Gita will be covered. At least you will have satisfaction. I know the entire Gita. I will give you that satisfaction. That's sure. No, how can you give me something? All right, I will have satisfaction. I have covered. That's all whenever we say that, Meaning is the same. Okay. Now, we say Ishvara. We view from Ishvara from 3 standpoints. One we say, one is Brahmaji. Brahma, not Brahman. Brahma, masculine gender. Brahmaji. He is a he. Oh, it's the same type. No, he is married. Our gods are married. Don't worry about it. Brahmaji means there is Saraswati. Vishnu means there is Lakshmi. He carries her in his heart. He is Lakshmipati. He doesn't keep her sight or anything. And when you say Parameshwara or Rudra, if you say, he's got one side. He has given one side complete, 50, real Californian situation. 50-50. This is 50, this is 50, that's all. 50-50. Therefore, so you don't think that there is something similar, nothing similar. Forget it. And therefore, this is Ishvara, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra. Maheshwara, they say, really speaking, Rudra. Okay? One Ishvara is viewed from 3 standpoints. Creator, sustainer, and what? Not destroyer. One who takes back. Resolve. Takes back. Yata urna nabhi. Srijate grinnate. The destroyer, the word, forget it. There is no destruction. There is only rearrangement. Manifestation and manifestation. There is no destruction. That's why they say Srishti Sthiti Laya. Even if you say Samhara, this is the meaning. Samyak Harati. That is Samhara. It means you take back to yourself. Like a luta. The small, there is one small, there are many spiders. There is one small spider. It's Indian, naturally. It's an Indian spider. Very small. This is the fellow in the example of the Upanishad. Not the fellow who makes web and all that. The big fellows and all this black widow and all those spiders, we are not interested in those spiders. So they are okay, you can bring, but that's not the example, because they here srijate grinnate cha. Srijati grinnati. So this spider, luta, Purnanabhihi yata luta. This spider, so it creates and takes back. So it creates means it spins. What? A thread. It spins a thread. From the ceiling it comes down. This is, in India you can see all this. That there is an advantage living in India. You can have this all right in your house. Sometimes it lands on your plate when you are eating, On the leaf it lands also. So we are living with all of them. Now it comes from the ceiling. This small little fellow sticks one end there on the ceiling and comes down. Slowly it comes down. As it comes down, it goes on spinning. And it is not really spinning. It doesn't move around like this to spin. A certain substance from a gland comes through a tubular thing in its mouth, and it comes out as a simple thin thread. Very strong. A lot of research is going on about the substance of this. Very strong. Very thin, you cannot even see. It just comes down, extending. I have done this. You touch that, it goes up. It goes up. It goes up. Grinnati. The web spider doesn't do that. It doesn't pack up the web and goes to another place, another flea market. No. It that doesn't do that. But this is the one grinnatecha. It takes back. It sends out. It takes back. That is called Rudra. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. Okay? Now, Brahmaji is creating, Vishnuji is sustaining, and Rudra is resolving. Now in this, who is first, who is second, and who is third? Okay? Without creation there cannot be sustenance. Without sustenance there cannot be dissolution or resolution. Therefore we say creation, sustenance and dissolution. That is the order. Now that means Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. Understand? This is the time order. So first comes creation. First means time. First creation. Then second is what? Next time. After creation comes what? Sustenance. After sustenance comes what? Destruction or dissolution. Okay, or destruction in the meaning of dissolution. I don't mind your destruction, but if you understand it, fine. This is therefore Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. Now the problem is, sustenance how long? Brahmaji creates. Sustenance how long? When the sustenance takes place, there is no change, there is no time, there is no change, there is no continuous changes, not there. Hey, come on, take time for instance. Time itself you take it. Now this moment is born. This moment is born. Then it has to be is. Then gone when? Hey, come on. Going, it is born. Correct? Going, it is born. Therefore, gone. Going, it is born. Being born, it is going. And is, we do not know when. This is called Maya. Born is gone. Gone, born, is. Is born, gone. All the three are one. You understand what it is? If you don't understand, you understand one thing, Maya, difficult to understand. Born is gone. Is born, gone. Gone, born, is. Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra. Rudra, Vishnu, Brahma. And Vishnu, Brahma, Rudra. Vishnu, Rudra, Brahma. All the three of them are not offended at all. They know that this is all as though. There is an as though birth, there is an as though existence, there is an as though resolution. In fact, all these three periods of time, etc., are a myth. It is a myth, really speaking. If you look at time itself, it is past is a myth. Really, it is the greatest myth because you think of the past right now. Nobody thought of the past in the past. Means, understand? So you have to go back and then think of the past. No. You always, even if you go back, you have to think of the past in the present. You always think of the past in the present. You think of the present in the present. You think of the future in the present. And therefore, what is the block of time or what is time is present. Bhutam bhavishyatcha bhavat swakale. Bhutam the past, bhavishyat the future, bhavat swakale, it is only present in its own time. Then what? Then he says, tad vartamanasya vihaya tattvam hasyana kim syad gata bhavi charcha vinaika sankhyam gananaiva loke. The fellow does not know what is 1 and 1 plus 1, 2. Then he wants to know calculus. Hasyana kim syat gata bhavi charcha. Past, future, and worry about that charcha, discussion about that, time, etc. There is really speaking, what is there is only present. And we have to understand time in terms of present. If you really want to know what is time, you understand what is present. Correct? Present alone you have to understand. Because just now you think of the past. You think of the previous ages, etc. You think of. You see the light today and you think of 12 billion years away. So the light that I see is from 12 billion years. That is you are thinking right now about 12 billion years away from measuring the distance. Again, current is always current. And therefore, all that you need to know present to know time. So what is the length of time in the present? That is the most important thing to understand about time. There is a length of time. You must have a length. So what is the length of time? Current, present if you say, so it is purely present tense. If you analyze present tense, you become tense. Present chale jata. Really present tense. As I told you, so Pachati cooks. I asked at 8 o'clock, what does he do? Cooks. Then I asked at 9 o'clock, what does he do? Cooks. Hey, what is this? Cooks. There is no cooked. What are you talking? So he cooked and he was cooking, then he will be cooking, only cooks at this moment. But you have been telling for the past 1 hour, cooks, pachati. Epokkatalu ide cholrene. Pachati. The present is only kalpita. In all languages, there is a kalpita present. We are just for purposes of communication. Just to point out the pachana kriya, that act of cooking is incomplete, and therefore we say it is just a superimposed buddhya prakalpita. It is by buddhi alone prakalpita it is. By your buddhi it is prakalpita, means it is just imagined. It is arbitrarily decided by by the people of linguistics. Let us call it pachati. Means cooks, present tense. So, and therefore what is present? Tell me exactly present. I want time. Because it is present means time. Present means you can't say one present century, present millennium, present yuga, present kalpa, Shvetavaraha kalpe. You call present kalpa. Shvetavaraha kalpa is a kalpa of white pig, which ends up in your breakfast table. So that is what they call Shvetavaraha kalpa. This is called Shvetavaraha kalpa. There again it has got manvantaras. My Vaivaswata manvantare. Then again there are so many yugas in this Kali Yuga. The yuga has got 4 quarters. Prathame pade. So like this Prathame pade. Then again what? Shashti samvatsarana madhye. Among the 60-year cycle, the present year, then afterwards present month, then afterwards present paksha, the fortnight, bright or dark fortnight. Then again the tithi, the day of the fortnight. This is all time. You can understand? All present only. It all depends upon what you refer. In the present cycle of creation. The current cycle of creation. Then another segment in the current yuga. Another segment in the current millennium. Another segment in the current century. Another segment in the current year. Another segment in the current month. Another segment again in the current day. And another segment current hour. There are 24 hours. 1 hour. Present is 1 hour. Correct? Present is 1 hour. 60 minutes. The 60 minutes can be the most boring period of time. Especially if you are stuck with a program there. Neither you can, because you want to know what is the final conclusion, but it is not over. It goes on and on saying the same thing 300 times. Boring program. Occasionally something good, therefore you can't give it up. Like even you don't give up your life because occasionally you become happy. That's same. What an example. So what I say, so this is the thing. So 60 minutes is too long a time. You have to sell all your estates, if you have got some, to get 1 hour in a prime time, this slot in any national TV network. It's not ITV. For a whole day you have to pay $25. That is a different thing. ITV means what? This is you have to pay. It's always in seconds. It's always you pay in seconds. Especially in playoff and especially the final Super Bowl. That's it. For 2 seconds. You have to go to Tirupati. Mottana. You are Mottai without Tirupati. That's what I say. So this means completely you are shaven completely. Means gone. All that you have earned as a doctor for 20 years here, 2 seconds you buy at that time. Gone, money gone. Understand? That is second is too long a time. 1 second, correct. Swamiji, 1 second. Thank God you said second. That means there is one before that. Okay? It's only a second. Then what is the first I am talking? So second. The second has got 1 million microseconds. Then I received, Morris told me once, so you gave me a whole, one piece of paper giving me picoseconds and all that. You better give me one more time. So I forgot all about it. So this microsecond, then it is divided into picoseconds. Then afterwards, picoseconds, then there are so many other are there. Still divisions, because in electronic world you require all that. Before blinking of the eyes, gone. You lose money, understand? And therefore, so you need to know more. You need to have this all second. Afterwards you give up. There is nothing. It's all mathematical afterwards. Even to think of that, it takes some seconds. So you give up. Completely you give up. Then what is present? You can't arrive at mathematically. You cannot arrive at mathematically. You cannot conceptualize also. And that is what? When there is no length of time, because any length of time is divisible. When there is no length of time, then you get present. So what is present? Present is no length of time. No length of time means what? This is where the truth comes here. Time consciousness is. Time, I look into what is time. Time consciousness is. Then there is this second consciousness is. From Kalpa I came here. Second consciousness is. Then microsecond consciousness is. Picosecond consciousness is. Whatever that I can divide, still that consciousness is. Time length is not there. Then what is there? Consciousness is. Therefore, what is the soul of time? Non-time. Understand? The soul of time is non-time. There is no time. So no time, timeless is the soul of time. It is the same thing with reference to everything. And that which is free from flower is the soul of flower. So any one thing you take, that it is free from that is exactly the truth of it. The way, because everything is only an incidental attribute to that one thing that is limitless consciousness. Time-wise limitless, object-wise limitless, and therefore space-wise limitless. Desha-kala vastu aparichinnam akhandam brahma satyam. This is you, Brahmatma. This is you. That means what? You are Purnam. You are the whole. Arjuna wanted to know, who is the one who knows this? Lord Krishna said, Atmanyevatmana tushtaha sthita prajnastadochyate. The one who is happy, means one who doesn't want to be happy. The one who is happy being oneself is the wise person. The one who wants to be made happy by the world, the whole goal, the whole fellow, all the fellows go for some kind of tickling the world has to do. Then only this fellow can be kept in good humor. The one who can be a source of happiness to all and himself doesn't need to be made happy. He has made it, correct? That's all what it is. Atmanyevatmana tushtaha. Like a sugar crystal doesn't require to be made sweet because it is ras, that is rasagana. It is. So rasomayaha, rasamayoyam purushaha. Atma rasaha means it is ananda, it is. Sweetness is not one corner of a sugar crystal. The whole thing is sweetness. Then similarly, Atma is Purnaha. With the world it is Purna, without the world it is Purna. And therefore, this is Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnistidochyate. Krishna wants to answer Arjuna with so many things, and afterwards he tells Arjuna, unless, don't ask me who is a Sthita Prajna, who is a wise person, how he behaves, how he talks, etc. These are silly. Because even if I say he talks slowly or he talks fast, then talking fast fellow will become a Sthita Prajna. That means every auto salesman is he is a Sthita Prajna. And therefore, because he talks fast, and therefore he is a Sthita Prajna. What are you talking? And the fellow who talks slowly. So slow that between two words you can have a shower and come back. You will not miss a word. Like a Texan. Therefore, every Texan will become a Sthita Prajna, a wise person. Sthita Prajna. How does he walk? The one who walks slowly. Or one who doesn't walk at all. Udari aisi mast mein pade rahega. These are all things. These are all irrelevant things you are asking, Arjuna. How does he talk? How does he walk? These are all, how does he sit? These are all, Sthita Prajna will sit rather loosely. Yes, somebody may be sitting like that, but that doesn't mean by practice of this sitting you will become Sthita Prajna. And therefore, it has no meaning. All these have no meaning. Really, you can understand a Sthita Prajna only when you are a Sthita Prajna. You work for that. Don't ask for how does he look, how does he walk, how does he talk. There is no measuring tape for a Sthita Prajna. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pasyato munehe. For a wise person, what is daylight is night, is not known. That is not known. In fact, it is a wonder for the wise person, how come you do not know this? And for the one, so to what the other fellow is awake, he is not alive to. For what this person is awake to, the other person is not awake to. Therefore, you cannot understand a wise person if you are otherwise. You have to be wise. Then it looks as though Krishna was not sympathetic, and therefore he gave a sympathetic answer. Well, Arjuna, don't raise your eyebrows like this, and you don't look at me like this, don't frown at me. Now, all right, Tholanjibo. So please listen to this. Apuryamana machala pradishtam samudramapa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve shashantimapnoti nakamakami. Hey, Arjuna, this you can easily comprehend. There is ocean. It is, the oceanness is in itself. It doesn't depend upon anything. It doesn't depend upon rains. It doesn't depend upon rivers, water entering into that. The ocean, in fact, makes rains possible. It is the oceans, the surface water that evaporates to become the clouds, etc. And then again, everything goes back to the ocean. Ocean doesn't depend upon anything else. Swe mahimni tishtati. It is in its own glory, it has got oceanness. It is full, it is brimful, apuryamanam, achala pratishtam. It stays in its own glory. Doesn't depend upon anything. The pratishtha is in itself. And lot of rivers enter. The oceanness doesn't undergo an improvement. And lot of rivers do not enter because of irrigation, etc. People make use of it. Still the oceanness does not undergo any damage. There is no decrease in the degree of oceanness. Correct? Similarly, wise man is one. unto whom the world of objects enters. He is Purnaha. He is still Purnaha. Means with the world, he is Purnaha. Without the world, he is Purnaha. That is the ocean. Then why? What is the counter example? Counter example is our pond. You know our pond? Which pond? This pond that depends upon the rains. When the rains don't come, this pond is dry. The lake is dry. People begin growing cucumber. Make a crop. Then if the rains are too much, you don't see the pond at all. The pond is completely covered, all around water, and the pond itself is not seen at all. Too much rain, gone. No rain, gone. This is exactly the problem. Really? I got it. Suppose this fellow got something. He got a jackpot. He got a jackpot. Really? He died. And then there was then he died for nothing because next day there was a correction. The number was not 998. It was it's a wasteful death, really. Think it over. Anyway, so this is called Kamakami. The one who depends upon the smiles of people to be happy, approval of people to be happy, to be patted by people, you are wonderful. Oh, really? I'm wonderful. And then you are happy. This is not going to help. This is just dependent. There is no freedom. Freedom is you are happy. You provide happiness to others. You are the source of happiness to everybody. In your presence, everybody is happy. That is what makes the difference between wise and otherwise. Okay? Wow. How do you get this? By knowledge. This is called Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Yenam Prapyana Vimukhyati Sthitvasya Mantakalepi Brahma Nirvana Mrichati. This is, even if you are an old man, doesn't matter. If you get this knowledge, you have made it. Don't think old cannot make it. I don't say old is gold. I don't say that. I never say that old is gold. These are just nonsense. And therefore, this is called senior citizen nonsense. So just to get all their votes, because they are the only ones who vote. Young fellows don't vote. Middle-aged man, he is always lost in the middle and he cannot move. He has got a lot of problems. He is always in the middle of one thing or the other, that's what I said. And therefore he doesn't vote. Only these senior citizens vote, and therefore everybody goes up to the old people and saying, you are gold, etc. Understand? But even if you are old, if you understand this, because you have lived so many years of life, that means you must have the maturity of all these years. It's a payoff for your life. The payoff is this knowledge. And therefore, Yesha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Antakalepi Brahma Nirvana Mrichati iti. Bhashikara tells, even though he is Vayodhika, very old man, still with this knowledge you will achieve. He tells this also, what to talk of a young person whose eyes and ears are able to see and hear. Mind is still hoping that I can make it. And because to become hopeless, it takes a few more years. Understand? And therefore, so this is what to talk of such a person. Thus you find, this is how Lord Krishna talks about. It is this knowledge that makes the difference. Arjuna has a question. Because before all this, he talked in between a few things. Therefore, you should do this, you should do that, etc. Therefore, now Arjuna has a real problem. Third chapter begins. Om Purnamada Purnamada Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.